I frequently read or am asked my opinion about foils with a specific area in square centimeters, whether beginners need more or less area, or that their brother-in-law told them they need a 1900 square centimeters foil to start wing foiling. As if square centimeters alone defined a foil. The most common mistake a foil novice makes is choosing their equipment based solely on area, those famous square centimeters. But today I'm going to show you that this number, by itself, tells you almost nothing about how your foil will perform on the water. Buying a foil based solely on square centimeters is like buying a car based solely on engine horsepower. A 300 horsepower tractor is not the same as a 300 horsepower Ferrari. In this video, we're going to review other equally or even more important parameters without which area alone is meaningless. This will help you choose your first wing foil, Surffoil, or PumpFoil equipment more effectively. A foil has a lot of parameters you could consider: area, wingspan, thickness, aspect ratio, material, chord, thickness-to-chord ratio, airfoil. But that's too much for the average person, so to keep things simple and for comparison, I usually focus on just 3 parameters. 1. Area. There are different types of area, but we won't go into that much detail and will focus on the practical. Generally, the larger the area, the more lift and the easier it is to fly. 2. Wingspan. This is the distance from tip to tip of the foil. 2 wings with the same area can feel completely different if one is 80 centimeters wide and the other is 110 centimeters. A larger wingspan means more lift. So, if we compare a foil using only these 2 parameters, we could say, for example, that a foil with a 2500 square centimeters area and a 100 centimeters wingspan could be equivalent to a foil with a 2100 centimeters area and a 110 centimeters wingspan. The wingspan also greatly influences the ease of turning. The smaller the wingspan, the easier it is to turn, allowing for tighter turns. In pump foiling, for example, if the wingspan is large, it can be difficult for a beginner to straighten the foil after a turn. 3. Foil thickness. 2 wings with a 1200 square centimeters area can have different thicknesses. A thick airfoil generates a lot of lift at low speeds, ideal for learning, and is usually easier to get airborne, but it creates water resistance that prevents you from going fast. A thin airfoil needs speed to get going, but then flies faster and with less water resistance. To use the previous examples, a foil with a 2500 square centimeters area and a 100 centimeters wingspan and a 30 millimeters thickness can be equivalent to a foil with a 1600 square centimeters area, a 115 centimeters wingspan, and a 17 millimeters thickness in terms of lift once you are flying. There is a 4th parameter that is widely used, the aspect ratio. But I don't usually pay much attention to it because it's really a relationship between area and wingspan, so it's redundant, and I think it's much more important to have both separately than the number itself. To summarize, low aspect ratio, around 5.0. These would be wings with a small wingspan, large area, and thickness. They are easy to lift and turn very tightly, but have a lot of drag. High aspect ratio, above 9.0. Very long and narrow wings. They have very high efficiency and glide, but are more technically demanding. Below, I'm going to give some examples of size comparisons for Wingfoil, Surffoil, and PumpFoil. In the case of Wingfoil in light winds, let's take these 2 options as examples. Foil A, 2000 square centimeters, 90 centimeters wingspan, and a thick airfoil. Foil B, 1450 square centimeters, 115 centimeters wingspan, and a thin profile. Common sense tells you that the 2000 square centimeters foil is better for light winds. But the reality is that the 2000 square centimeters foil has so much drag that it slows you down. As soon as you stop receiving pressure on the hand wing, you fall. The 1450 high aspect, being more efficient, maintains flight in wind gaps as long as you have speed. Less area, but more actual flight time. But this is if you already have experience. If you're a beginner, the 2000 square centimeters foil can make getting airborne easier, more forgiving of mistakes, thanks to its thickness, and facilitate your first turns, thanks to its narrower wingspan, thus giving you more time in the air. In the case of prone surf foiling, let's take these two options as an example. Foil A, 1900 square centimeters low aspect ratio, 70 centimeters wingspan, and thick. Foil B, 1000 square centimeters, 115 centimeters wingspan, and thin. You might think that the 1000 square centimeters foil, being smaller, turns better. Wrong. Due to its enormous wingspan, it's very wide, the 1000 square centimeters foil will feel very rigid. It will be very difficult to tilt it to make a tight turn on the wave. The 1900 square centimeters foil, with more surface area but less width at the tips, will be much more playful, allowing you to pop up easily on smaller waves and will be more forgiving of mistakes. But if you want to start linking waves, the 1000 square centimeters foil will be more efficient since, in addition to its wingspan, it will likely be thinner, and both of these things will help you be more efficient when pumping between waves. In the case of the pump foil, let's look at these two examples. Foil A, 2500 square centimeters and a 100 centimeters wingspan, with a thick profile. Foil B, 1800 square centimeters and a 150 centimeters wingspan with a thin profile. The 2500 square centimeters foil seems like it will make you float almost stationary, but pumping it requires a lot of effort going up and down. The 1800 square centimeters foil requires a more precise start and more initial speed, but once you're in the air, you maintain your momentum with a very smooth pump, and therefore you need less effort. Here, the profile thickness, often overlooked, is also crucial. A foil with less area and wingspan can be better than one with a much thinner profile. So, what should I look for before buying? If you're a beginner, thicker profiles are your friends. They are easier to start flying, require less speed, and are more forgiving of mistakes. But if you want to progress in surf foiling and pump foiling, the first thing is to look for something with a larger wingspan to be more efficient at pumping, and ideally, thinner for better glide. If your wingspan increases significantly, you could even reduce the area and maintain or even increase your glide. If you want to progress in wing foiling, you'll usually look for a smaller area because you're already more comfortable with the takeoff and you're starting to experience windier days and want more speed. Go for a larger wingspan on light wind days if you've already mastered turns. And opt for a thinner foil to maintain flight and gain speed if you already have the technique. So that's it. From now on, when you compare foils or look for advice, you'll do it with more purpose and not just focus on the area, which alone doesn't tell you much. If you found this helpful, like and subscribe for more foil tips.